Hi, I'm Mats. I'm the singer-songwriter and frontman of Superboy, a Norwegian progressive rock band from Oslo. I thought I'd make a video today to talk a little bit about our music and the band and the albums that we've put out so far. That's two albums at this point, Mycelium Days, that came out about a year ago, and Blakc Mould from 2017, which will be the focus of this first video. So Blakc Mould started as a project back in 2006, so that's 10 years before it was released. And back then there was no band, it was just me, it was a solo project. I was a young working professional. I was working in a design agency, and on my spare time I was doing this comic book project that was going nowhere. And I'd applied for a master's degree in art, and I'd gotten in to a university in Baltimore in the United States, and I thought I just want to do something completely different. And it wasn't like music wasn't a hobby. I just never really worked with it. I had a guitar, that's it. I played. It was an old Washburn. It didn't sound very good. And I didn't have any recording equipment. I'd never played in a band. And I hadn't really written anything resembling a song in about 10 years. I did some writing like a lot of us did back in school when, I was about 19, 20. But I felt like inspired. I had just ordered some recording equipment online and I didn't know what I was doing. So I'd ordered a Sound Blaster Audigy card and it didn't really have any preamps or anything on it. So I had to go and buy Behringer preamps. And I bought an SM57. And I didn't sound very good on that. I thought on my vocals, I bought a Rode NT1A and started, setting things up in my little office there. And the songs that would start coming out, like I think 6 out of the 9 songs in the album were conceived through March, April, leading up to the summer. And I did also do like the basic recordings of them all down to a click track. Artistically, it's always difficult to sort of pigeonhole your own music. In my mind, there's something Beatlesy, a bit sort of White Album-esque about Blakc Mould, which is deliberate. I've always liked that album, that very sort of sprawling range of expression, which probably comes down to that there's 3, possibly even 4 songwriters on there. I think Ringo had Octopus's Garden on there, maybe? So, yeah, Ringo had a song on there too. And I wanted to sort of mimic that, or I think it's in my blood to do that kind of thing where it's like it's a bit all over the place. Um, Many people have described Blakc Mould as searching for its own sound, and it was that. But there was also a very deliberate idea behind having all that range, even down to like switching it up in even inside the song, and that's something that John and Paul did, especially on the White Album, but also in songs like A Day in the Life. And I really like that. Um, and another band that was inspiring to me at this time was Radiohead. And I was quite into Amnesiac, I think, at the time. And another tangent there is I read in an interview with Tom York that he was inspired by that A Day in the Life thing when he wrote OK Computer. So, it's all sort of the same sort of ideas sort of percolating around there that, are coming my way. So certainly this was a time of inspiration, playing these songs out, writing these lyrics. I started feeling like I had something good going. This was interesting. This was something new to me. And there is this sense of discovery always when you write something. And I've always been intrigued by this because when you write something or you make something, anything creative, there's this feeling you have. And I've wondered, is that feeling conveyed or is it just something that has to do with the process that I feel this way when I was making this, but are you indeed putting those emotions into the thing and, broadcasting that out to an audience? Or is it just something that you feel because you're in that sort of space? It's your personal space. And that feeling is about the discovery, not really about what, for example, the piece of art or the song is about. But I think it's an important thing to listen to once you have that, once you're in that space and you have that sort of flowing feeling of being in this sort of cozy little candlelit cavern where there's just this slow burning fire, there's something coming up. And I think whenever you are in that space, you're on to something special. And I felt that. I felt that back then. Like I say, that doesn't mean it was something special, but I didn't want to sort of leave this stuff behind. So I was trying to produce these things myself. And I think the limitations were an advantage, as I think they always are as an illustrator and as a visual artist as well. I know even just putting confines on your project will make you do more new or interesting things. And those led me into a more electronic space because I was working with loops and everything. And I didn't really know a lot about electronic music making. I had a CD that my brother had given me with some stuff that he'd bought at some point, but he never wound up using it. So there was a few plugins on there, different VST synthesizers. I didn't know anything about these, but that's what I had. And I looked around and found the things that I really liked. And I started putting together this sort of canvas of different sounds. So if you listen to the lyrics on the album, it's basically a story about a relationship from beginning through to the end. Um, the opener, Get On Board, is all about this strange new chord, on this journey, getting off on this sort of island where there's all these new sensations, these new feelings. It's a bit cryptic, that one, but it's about falling in love. And then on the second song already, Black Hole, it just all goes down the drain. It's like this desperation. Yeah, I gotta get out of this thing, Just suffocated by this relationship. Then that's juxtaposed by Happy Man, which is a song basically about going over to your girlfriend and. And then there's Last Call, which is a song that's quite sinister. It's about this person who's just roaming around bars and town, just looking for girls with sort of bad intent. And then on the radio, which is basically, it's over. There's the depression. And then after the depression, turn to the B side, Run Away. It's the angst, the fear, sort of the restlessness, this trying to escape your own feelings, trying to escape your own pain. The same with Annihilate. Gotta kill that pain. Just gotta find a way to sort of get away from it. Just gotta go. And then we zoom out a bit on we're all okay. It's a bit more about the human condition, being stuck in this place where everyone's just, the rat race of consuming, buying stuff, working, to what end? And then we close everything off with the Suffer For Me, which is really like the song that could have been the opener on the album, but it's like a phoenix kind of thing where you're back to that square one where you realize you need to do something about your own situation and start the next chapter, basically. So at this point, these songs were just left in the drawer. And I stopped writing a lot of music. A few of the songs on the album came in the subsequent years. I wrote one in 2008, 2009, 2010. But I was focused on visual arts. I was focused on doing my other things. And I didn't really have much self-esteem for this project. But a thing happened that would change, the course of this. And that was in 2009, together with a friend of mine who's a choreographer and dancer. We were doing an arts project, and she'd found a music producer to work on this project with her. So this person was Leon Muraglia. He's an Italian-English composer and producer. He was in Radio 9, a krautrock band, for a while. And he did an album with Hans-Joachim Roedelius from Cluster. He's played numerous times with Dama Suzuki, the frontman of Can. And he lives here in Oslo, Norway. He offered to produce my album for me if I helped him do visuals for his band. And he brought some musicians in from his band. And I brought Vegard in, who's still the bass player in Superboy, to play bass. And then I had to go to Switzerland for a couple of years. My girlfriend was doing a master's degree. I wasn't pushing Leon on any of this stuff. Not until 2015. And that's when I suddenly woke up one morning and thought, we need to finish that album. So in the end, writing that album all the way back in 2006, like 10 years prior, and then finally finishing it was very rewarding. And to top that off, you would get signed by this small indie label in Oslo that actually wanted to release this. And that inspired me. I haven't talked too much about this on this episode, but I was in a quite dark place around 2015. And this became like this beacon of light that could sort of lead me out of this grey and sonorous place that I was in. And I felt inspired again, gradually, to write some more. And that writing process that started in early 2016 is what would become Mycelium Days, which we'll talk about in the next video. I've chosen Suffer For Me from Blakc Mould to play today. It's always been a favorite of mine. It's tucked away all the way at the end of the album. It's not the most popular one, but it's one that I'm very fond of myself. So I thought I'd play that now and we can listen to that together.
Desperate measures call for desperate times. Something tells me it's gonna be a hell of a ride. We're all damn frightened that it's our time that has come. And that's why we run. Now listen good, it's understood, it ain't gonna fly. had our say, a little play, now we must comply. Whoa, we fought for, now we're out of time. Forget, it ends as it should. For one and nothing, for